Hi, how are you? If you're new here, I'm Delilah. Welcome. I am down over 200 pounds. 120 of those pounds were done on my own prior to getting some diagnoses, which required some medical intervention. I can continue to move forward with my weight journey. I am now on Mounjaro to help stabilize my blood sugar now that I am a type 2 diabetic. Mounjaro is like for real the homie. Like he's down. Like he's so down. He's so down for me and I love it. So with the help of my little homie Mounjaro, I am now an additional 80 plus pounds down and here we are. I am still on a journey to lose an additional 155 pounds. So if that's something that you are interested in following along with, if you just want to see if I can do it, please feel free to follow along and go ahead and subscribe and become one of the little pickles. I want to start out by telling you guys I'm very, very sorry. I do not feel well at all. I feel like you can even see it in my skin. Like my skin looks so dull and my eyes look sunken in. And I feel that is very appropriate to the way that I'm feeling inside. Let's take a break for our sponsor today, water. Always drink your water. Just kidding. I wish I was sponsored by water. Water, if you're hearing this, feel free to reach out. I will gladly take a sponsorship from water. This one happens to be Kirkland Signature Purified Water. But I don't care. I will take a sponsorship from any water company. Any single one of you who would like to sponsor me by providing free water. I live in Texas where it gets very, very hot. So if you want to send me free cases, even pellets of water, I will gladly make room in one of my spare bedrooms to contain said water because there's no way it's going in my garage. My garage is not temperature controlled and that water would go bad very quick. David and I go through, our tap water doesn't taste good. I've tried using like Brita filters and stuff, but it doesn't get it to where I need. I really want to get a different filter, like a brekkie or something, but it's out of my price range right now. Because I do not feel well, we are not going to be doing the coloring today, which I didn't do the coloring last week either. And that's really disappointing to me, but I don't have it in me, so I cannot do it. But I am going to give you guys the opportunity to take a guess. Do you think that I gained or do you think that I lost this week? If you have a guess, go ahead and drop it in the comments down below. Even if you don't have a guess, go ahead and drop a random number in the comments down below. Let me know what you think I either gained or lost and how much you think it was. I would love to hear what your thoughts are, and then we can compare and contrast after and go from there. Last week, we were down to 276.5 pounds. For those of you who don't know, I was stuck in the 280s for 3 full months. I finally took some steps to get out of the 280s, which was to begin to track my food. If you are unaware, tracking for me has been a very triggering event. It is very disliked by me. It is very hard for me to do. It is very emotional. It is something where I don't see benefits from it because I am way too traumatized by it. I'm sorry. I was way too traumatized by it. I have been taking some active measures to begin to reframe the way that I look at food tracking. I no longer do it with fear. I do it with the mindset that it is an act of self-love. I do everything that I can to reframe my mind around the thought of tracking food. I, in the past, have, since doing this journey, would be able to do about a week of food tracking every single month. And I did that every month. I would do at least 5 days because I wanted to keep my brain aware of actual size portions, right? Instead of letting my brain get away with changing what is, this is, say, a tablespoon. It's not, but let's say that this was a tablespoon, right? And then the more that you go without actually seeing what a real and true tablespoon's worth of product is, your brain will begin to make it bigger and bigger. So this is what a true tablespoon is, and suddenly your brain sees it as this. And I know that that is a dramatic difference, right? But I promise you, your brain does make changes like this. And for me to keep my brain from doing this and keeping it there, I would track at least 5 days every single month so that my brain would constantly come back to this being what a tablespoon does in fact look like. So if you do not believe me, please try it out on yourself. Promise you, you can also look up the research. There's plenty of research that has been done around what our memory tends to do when we don't have the true comparison for a long period of time. So every single month I would track. And every single month while I would track, it was just mental gymnastics that I had to get through to get to the whole entire 5 days, right? I was never able to do a whole 7 days. Sometimes I could do 10 days, but after 5 days, actually what I would do is after 5 days, I couldn't do it anymore. So I would stop, and then like that week I would be normal. And then the next week I would try again for another 5 days, but I never really did it together. But now I am reframing the way that my brain looks at things, which it really upsets me when people say like, okay, so I watched this video this morning that Mia shared with me of a woman who was discussing her perimenopause weight gain, right? And she was saying how she drinks her coffee and she uses creamer. She goes, I know creamer's not the best for you, but I need my creamer. And in the comments, I made a comment to her and I told her, you actually do not need your creamer. You want a creamer. And guess what? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. However, I am actively learning when we reframe the way that we discuss our wants and needs and desires with food, we can make better decisions when we stop saying, I need this. For me, I'm a Chicana. I am a second generation Mexican born in America. I used to think I could never go without tortillas, right? Because it's tortillas and frijoles. Come on, like tortillas, frijoles, arroz. That's like, I literally, when I was little, I could eat a burrito, a tortilla with only arroz. That's it. I called it a taco of rice, but it was really a burrito of rice. Not the point. The only thing in there was rice. And I loved it. Loved it. It was like my favorite thing on the planet. We were poor. It worked. But I used to say, I need it. I cannot live without it. I would die miserable if I had to give them up. When the reality is, I don't need it. I can live without it. I want it. I really enjoy eating it. I very much like it. And I want to eat it. Once I started changing the way that I described my connection to these foods, I was able to begin to distance my, I don't know how to explain it, my cravings for it, my emotional attachments. I was able to distance my emotional attachments to them through the words that I would use. And I want to encourage you to try doing the same thing. You don't need something other than water. We all need water. We need to eat, but we do not need to eat a lot of the foods that we prefer, right? We prefer them. We want them. Doesn't mean that's what we need. We don't hate healthy food. We just don't like them as much as we like convenience foods with empty calories. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with choosing those empty calories over nutrient dense calories on occasion, but to choose them all day, every day, you're not doing yourself any favors. You're really not. But this isn't about you. This is about me. And I'm only trying to give you advice that has worked for me. So if you stop telling yourself, I cannot live without the creamer, and instead you tell yourself, I just want the creamer. It makes me happy. I enjoy it. I like the taste. I like what it does for my coffee. Great. There's nothing wrong with that. You can have the creamer. You can have the creamer regardless of how you frame the words, but your emotional attachment to it will begin to change. And that has done a world of difference for me, especially with my tracking, because as I've told you guys, I am actively trying to change my relationship with tracking to become an act of self-love. I track food because I love myself enough that I want to nourish my body in an appropriate way. And in order for me to do that, I need to know what I'm putting into my body. I have medical diagnoses that require me to limit certain types of food. There's nothing that I can do about that outside of do it or don't do it. You may not have the same medical needs. So when I talk about why I don't eat certain things, why I limit certain other types of foods, there's a reason for that. It is a medical need for me. However, you may not have those medical needs. You may not have the need to do that, but that does not mean that empty calories are going to be as good for your mental health, as good for your physical health as nutrient-dense foods are. There just isn't. Whether you have a medical need for it or not, there just is no world that you live on that is going to ever mean constantly choosing empty calories over nutrient-dense calories for your body is going to benefit you in any way, shape, or form. Can you lose weight doing it? Yes. Can I lose weight doing it? No. Because my insulin resistance is just too strong. My body does not run well on carbs. I feel miserable. I gain weight. Even if I'm in a calorie deficit, if I am very, very carb heavy, even if they're complex carbohydrates, which are far better for you than simple carbohydrates, right? So a complex carbohydrate would be a low glycemic indexed vegetable, right? So let's say a sweet potato over a actual white potato, right? So a white potato has a lot more starch in it than, it's a higher glycemic index than a sweet potato. So it is going to raise my blood sugar a lot higher and faster than a sweet potato would. A sweet potato would have a spike, but it's not going to have such a dramatic spike as a white potato would. And that spike would stabilize relatively quickly as opposed to a white potato. Now, am I saying you can't have white potatoes? No, I am merely saying when I choose to consume an abundance of white potatoes, I do not feel well. My blood sugar definitely lets me know that I don't feel well, and I gain weight. You may not have that same reaction, but I will tell you that if you were to, I don't even like sweet potatoes, but if you were to begin to switch out some of the simple carbohydrates that you eat or the higher glycemic fruits and vegetables that you eat for lower glycemic ones, more often than you choose to eat the higher glycemic fruits and or vegetables or whatever other foods, you will see a difference in the way that you feel. You will. No question about it. Whether you are insulin resistant or not, whether you have any underlying health conditions, it is just the way that our bodies are created. We are created to run off nutrient-dense foods. And the more that you choose a nutrient-dense food over a empty calorie food, the more you will begin to see the benefits of that through your overall health, not just the weight on the scale. For me, this isn't just about weight. Yes, I talk about weight on every single video because it's a weight loss update every single Wednesday. But for me, this is about overall health. This channel has always been in my heart about my mental health, physical health, emotional health, and spiritual health. Always. It has always been a health related channel, not strictly weight. I'm always going to talk about weight because I'm overweight and I need to get to a healthy weight in order to balance out the rest of my health concerns in my body, my mind, my soul, my spirit, right? So in order to do that, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? I need to lose weight. I am actively doing that, but I know you guys have heard of skinny fat. You can have a skinny body and have a lot of health issues because you choose to not nourish your body properly. And if that's the body that you want, great. That's not the body that I want. That's not the health that I want for me. And that's not the health that I want for you. However, you are free to do whatever it is that you want to do. I'm not telling you that you have to do things the way that I do things. I'm only telling you the way that I do things because that's what you're here for, to see what I do, right? Since you guys have already put your guesses in, let's go ahead and get to today. Enough lollygagging. I know I say that a lot, but the reality is that I talk a lot, period. You guys, I am happy to report that I have finally gotten some weight down. We are also no longer in the 270s. Can you believe it? I'm no longer in the 270s. I'm no longer in the 270s, you guys. So today, I'm weighing out 268.8 pounds. What? What? Do you see that? Is it coming into focus? 268.8 pounds today. So, for those of you who are wondering, I was 276.5 pounds last week. Today I weighed in at 268.8 pounds for a loss of 7.7 pounds this week. How is that possible? I don't know, but I'll take it. Truly, I have no idea how that's possible, but I know that I am working very hard, very hard to keep track of every single thing that I am consuming. I am working very hard to change my relationship with food. I am actively in therapy. I have changed the type of therapist that I am seeing. I am now seeing a therapist who specializes in eating that is not normal, right? Like eating behaviors that are not normal. And I've been getting a lot of age restrictions put onto my videos, so I'm gonna have to be careful about the words that I'm using. But for those of you who are unaware, nobody gets 483 pounds without having some sort of abnormal eating behaviors, right? So I'm actively working to correct all of those things. And one of the ways that I'm doing that is through weekly therapy. I also work with a dietitian and I work with a nutritionist. I talked about this in my live. The reason I have both is because my dietitian is my medical provider. They assist me with my body's medical needs towards nutrients and calories and whatever else. And my nutritionist is the non-medical professional who assists me with helping give me ideas and tips and tricks on how to meal prep, which I'm terrified of and I'm learning to work through. I learn like different things from her that are not in a medical setting. So I don't have to bog down my medical professional with my non-medical needs. I can turn to my non-medical professional with my non-medical needs, and we can address them the way that I need to address them. So it's like I wouldn't go to my medical doctor and ask them about what type of food containers they suggest I use. I just wouldn't. So I have two different avenues for me to address my needs. Now, I am very exhausted now. I am going to go lay back down. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I would love to hear all about how your week is going. I don't anticipate having very many more weeks where I am losing 7.7 pounds. But I know that I've been working very, very hard, very, very hard to remove the high glycemic index foods from my diet. I have been working very, very hard to limit the amount of going out to eat that we do. I have worked very hard on upping my protein and lowering my simple carbohydrate intake. I have been working very hard to remove any table sugars from my diet. I've been working very, very hard. And I am still in a very high weight category. And because I still have so much weight to lose that having weeks where 7.7 pounds coming off is not insane to think about. Think about it. I am in the high 200s. If we were using the rounding up method, I would be 300 pounds. And so in order for somebody to lose 7 pounds in a week, being 300 pounds is not a very concerning number. If I was 130 pounds and I lost 7 pounds, that's concerning. However, I also have not been feeling well this week. So take that as you will. Although I know that I told you guys I ate Campbell's chicken noodle soup twice yesterday, I know that that is the minority and not the majority of the food that I am consuming. And I am doing the best that I can to give my body the nutrients that it needs. And in doing so, my body is reaping the benefits by overall feeling better, with the exception of like literally not feeling well right now. But that has nothing to do with the nutrients that I am giving my body. That just happens to do with some sort of virus that I have contracted. And apparently he wants to outlive his lease. But that's how my week is going, and I hope that you are having an amazing week. I would love to hear all about it down in the comments down below. Let's go ahead and throw a hand clap emoji in the comments below. It lets me know that you've made it this far. It's just fun to put in there. I hope you guys really, really, really are having a great week. And then we are going to be starting our 50-state tour soon, which is just something cheesy that I call it. But really what I'm going to do is I'm going to visit, it's always been a bucket list item of mine to visit every single state in the US. We live in such a grand place that not everybody ever gets to see it, but I do have the ability to fly for free. So I am going to take advantage of those things. And now that I am getting to a more easily mobile weight, then I am going to begin to take advantage of that. And I am going to be visiting every single state in the US and other places that are not in the US, but we are going to begin with where I'm local. So in the beginning of fall, we are going to go to the Mall of America. And if you are in that area, I would love to meet up with you. And that's the only one that I know for sure when we're going to do. Everything else is sort of up for grabs. If you guys are interested in doing a meetup, please let me know what city and state you are in, or what the nearest airport is to where you're at. This way I can start to plan out how this is going to work. But I look forward to it, and it's going to be a lot of fun to meet you guys. Just so you know, here every single week I give you guys your digital hugs, which means that when I meet you in person, I am also going to hug you, unless you explicitly tell me that it is not okay to be hugged, which I completely understand. There's a lot of people who don't like to be touched. But if you don't tell me, I'm going to take it as your informed consent that you are giving me to hug you. So, and if you are too embarrassed to tell me, then you can send me an email. If you're embarrassed to tell me publicly, that's okay. You can send me an email, or you could just be like, bro, back off, and I will. But I hope to see you guys soon, and I'm super excited to continue this journey with you guys and to learn more about you. I want to make sure that you guys know that this isn't just the place that I share my journey with you, but this is also a place where I love to hear all about your journeys, good, bad, ugly. You just know that I want to be there to support you. I want to cry with you, laugh with you, celebrate with you, whatever it is that we need to do together to get you through whatever it is that you're going through. I want to be there for you the way that you are there for me. It means so much to me, and I'm so honored that I have the ability to do that because you choose to share your journeys with me. And I will see you guys soon, okay? Bye.